Imagine you just got your new camera body. Awesome! But then you start looking at lenses and suddenly you're drowning in numbers like 18 to 55 millimeters, 70 to 200 millimeters, 50 millimeters, prime, zoom, telephoto, wide. It's enough to make you just say, I'm just going to stick with my phone, right? We'll take a deep breath because today we're going to make sense of all of that. By the end of this video, you're not only going to understand what all those lens terms mean, but more importantly, you'll have a clear idea of which type of lens is right for you as your very first purchase after your kit lens, or even as your first lens if you bought camera body only. This isn't just about specs, it's about finding the right tool for your creative vision. Here's the truth. While your camera body is very important, your lens is more important for image quality and creative possibilities. Think of your camera body as the brain and the lens as your eye. A sharper, clearer eye will always give you a better view, no matter how good the brain is at processing. Different lenses let you see the world in vastly different ways. Let's start with the most fundamental distinction: prime lenses versus zoom lenses. A zoom lens has a variable focal length. That's those numbers like 18 to 55 millimeters or 70 to 200 millimeters. It means you can literally zoom in and zoom out by rotating a ring on the lens, changing your field of view without moving your feet at all. Pros of zoom lenses: very versatile. One lens can cover many different situations from wide shots to close shots. It's amazing for traveling or when you can't easily change your lens. Cons for zoom lenses: often not as sharp as primes, generally have slower aperture, larger f-stop numbers, letting in less light, and can be heavier or bulkier. A prime lens, on the other hand, has a fixed focal length. It's just one number: 35 millimeters, 50 millimeters, and 85 millimeters. If you want to zoom, you have to move your feet. Pros of prime lenses: typically much sharper, can have faster apertures, smaller f-stop numbers, letting in lots of light for blurry backgrounds and low light. Often lighter and more compact. Cons of prime lenses: less versatile. You need to carry multiple primes to cover different focal lengths. For a beginner, your kit lens is normally like 18 to 50 millimeters. It's almost always a zoom. It's a great starting point, but often not best in terms of image quality or light performance. Now let's talk about those millimeter numbers. Focal length. This tells you how zoomed in and zoomed out your lens is. Wide angle lenses like 10 millimeters to 35 millimeters capture a broad field of view. Great for landscape, architectures, interiors, or when you want to get a lot into the shot. Think of a fisheye lens as an extreme wide angle. Standard and normal lenses are normally 35 millimeters to 85 millimeters. These are often closest to what the human eye sees. A 50 millimeter is my personal favorite for portraits and street photography, and it's generally everyday shooting. It's very versatile and usually affordable. Telephoto lenses like 85mm to 300mm or higher zoom in on distant subjects. Perfect for wildlife, sports, or isolating subject from a busy background. They also tend to compress perspective, making backgrounds appear closer. Important note on crop sensors: if your camera has a crop sensor, most entry-level DSLRs and mirrorless cameras do, your focal length will be cropped or magnified. A 50mm lens on a crop sensor might behave more like a 75mm or an 85mm lens on a full-frame camera. Don't let this confuse you too much at first. Just be aware that the field of view might feel a bit more zoomed in than the numbers suggest. Next, the f-stop number. This is your aperture. We talked about this in our exposure video, but it's super important for lenses. It indicates how wide the lens opening can get, which affects two key things: how much light gets in, a smaller f-stop number like f-stop 1.8 or 2.8, meaning a wider opening, letting in more light. This is crucial for low light photography. Depth of field: a wider aperture, smaller f-stop number, creates a shallower depth of field, meaning more of that beautiful blurred background. A narrower aperture, Larger f-stop number, like f-stop 11, keeps more of the scene in focus. Fast lenses, lenses with smaller maximum f-stop numbers, like f-stop 1.8, 2.8, or f-stop 4, are called fast lenses because they let you use faster shutter speeds in low light. Zoom lenses and aperture. Many affordable zoom lenses have variable maximum apertures like 3.5 to 5.6. This means their widest aperture changes as you zoom in. It gets slower as you zoom in longer. More expensive, professional zooms often have a constant maximum aperture, f-stop 2.8, throughout the zoom range. For beginners looking for that pro look, a fast prime lens is often your best bet for achieving shallow depth of field. Okay, so with all of that information, what's the best first lens to buy after your kit lens? Or if you're starting with just the body? Here's my top recommendation depending on your interest. The 50mm f-stop 1.8 prime lens. This is almost always my first recommendations. It can be affordable to like $100 to $250, maybe more. It's incredibly sharp and the f-stop is 1.8 aperture, allows for a beautiful blurred background, and is excellent for low light performance. It's great for portraiture, street photography, low light indoor shots, generally everyday photography. Consideration: on a crop sensor, it acts more like a 75 to 80mm, making it even better for portraits, but perhaps a bit tight for general use indoors. A versatile standard zoom 24 to 70, f-stop 2.8 to f-stop 4. If you want a versatile and higher image quality than a kit lens, a good standard zoom is fantastic. The constant f-stop 2.8 or f-stop 4 aperture is key. Great for events, travel, landscape, general walk-around lens. Covers wide to short telephoto. Consideration: these are significantly more expensive than the 50mm. The f-stop is 2.8 versions are very professional grade and pricey. The f-stop 4 versions offer a good balance in quality and cost. A wide-angle prime and zoom 10, 24, 16, 20. If you know you love landscapes, architecture, real estate, or shooting in tight spaces, a dedicated wide angle is essential. Great for vast landscapes, cityscapes, indoor spaces, creative distortion effects. Considerations can be specialized if portraits are your main goal. This won't be your first pick. What about a telephoto lens? A 70 to 300mm or a similar zoom is great for wildlife and sports, but often not the first lens you need unless those are your immediate passions. Start with a lens that helps you master the fundamentals of light, depth of field first. One crucial thing before you buy: lens mounts. Every camera brand has its own specific lens mount. A Canon lens typically won't fit a Nikon camera, and vice versa. Even within brands, there can be different mounts, like Canon EFs for DSLRs versus RFs for mirrorless. Always check when buying a lens, make sure it's compatible with your specific camera's mount. Third-party lenses companies like Sigma and Tamron make lenses for various camera mounts, often offering great quality at lower prices. Just ensure you buy the version made for your camera brand, like Sigma 50mm f-stop 1.4 or Canon EF. So, to recap, primes are sharp, great for low light, great for everything but fixed. Zooms are versatile, but can be less sharp or slower. Focal lengths, wide for landscape, standard for telephoto, and everyday for distances. Aperture f-stop, smaller numbers mean more light and more blur. Check your lens mount. My advice: start with the 50mm. It's fantastic, affordable way to learn aperture, depth of field, and composition by zooming with your feet. It will truly elevate your photography beyond the kit lens. Which lens are you leaning towards? Let me know in the comments. If this video helped you navigate the confusing world of lenses, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more photography guides. And keep shooting.